Welcome back, everybody. This is the World Business Forum in Milan, and Marcus Buckingham, expert on talent and strengths-based leadership, is joining us. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, Alice, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
So I would like to kick off with what are you going to touch on at the World Business Forum 2022 edition in Milan?
I'm actually going to be talking about people at work. So we've come out of the pandemic. We've all been changed in important ways. And as much as there's big global things going on in terms of the economy, in terms of the world at large, there's also just the psychological individual feelings of each one of us coming out saying, what is work to me? What company should I join? What team should I join? Why does this one deserve me and not this one? What am I looking for in the place that I join and commit 30, 40, 50 hours a week of my life to? So that's going to be the focus, is what do we know about what humans are really feeling?
And do you think after the pandemic, because you just cited it, the labor market has changed kind of forever, irreversibly?
Yes, although it's changed in two really distinct ways. I mean, some people have come out of the pandemic, and you can see, I run the ADP Research Institute, so we do 75,000 people surveys around the world twice a year. And you can see the world of work is kind of split in two. Some people have come out of the world of the pandemic and said, look, I'm only here for a short time. Work is work. Work isn't a place in which I get to express myself. Work is a transaction. I'm just going to go. I'm going to do my minimum. We've seen the Great Resignation. We've seen quiet quitting. We've seen the 4-day work week, because work is alienating. It always will be. Like, some people have come out sort of cynical about work. And some companies have responded in kind. I will surveil you. I will put software on your computer to check up on you because I don't trust you. So there's that angle. But there's another angle of a lot of different people coming into the workplace going, wait a minute, I am here for a short time. Work is going to be a big chunk of my life. I better have work be a place in which I can see myself, encounter myself, learn about me at my best, express it. I want my company to be a place that matches me there, that takes me seriously. I don't want to just put in the time. I don't want to just go through the motions. And so that group here is a younger and bigger group than this group here. And I don't know this, but I don't think this is going away, because labor markets are going to stay really tight around the world, differently tight according to different countries, but we're going to have a lot of power. These employees are going to have a lot of power to choose companies that say, I will get to know you, I will take you seriously.
Well, that's very interesting. And then considering what you just explained to us, what's the main message you'd like to convey, you would like to spread among the business community, considering everything we've just said?
So when it comes to like running a really good business, we often talk about how companies need to do this or companies need to do that. But when you really push on it, it's really what do teams do? People join companies, but then they quit their team. So the biggest takeaway for companies is, how do you build more teams like your best teams? And the important thing about a team, of course, is it's not 1 to 60. It's 1 to 10, 1 to 8, 1 to 11. It's a place where the team leader has enough time to pay attention to each individual. We need to really rethink spans of attention as opposed to spans of control. One of the big problems in hospitals these days is you've got spans of control of one nurse supervisor to 60 nurses. Here in Italy, it's about 1 to 50. That nurse supervisor can't pay attention to each individual 50 nurses. You can't do that. So these 50 individuals feel unseen, unheard, and they burn out or they quit. So one of the things we'll be talking about is how can you scale attention inside of a company? Because there's an awful lot of workers coming into the workplace going, you need to get to know me. You need to understand who I am. You can challenge me, you can be tough on me, but don't not see me. You got to see me. So that's one of the huge things for us. And then, of course, for companies, what's your talent brand? Most companies don't have any sense of the answer to the question, would you advocate your company as a place to work to friends and family? And yet, if you think about it, that's a hugely important thing to know about your company. What are people saying about your company in the community?
Sure.
That's your talent brand. We are going to see in the next 5 years, the best companies will be as rabid and as smart about defining their talent brand, as in, what do I promise you? You want to come work for me? Here's what I promise you, as they have been about their product brand. At the moment, most companies, frankly, are really irresponsible and vague about their talent brand.
Well, I have many books in my introduction. Books you wrote, of course. Talk to us about the last one, and of course, once again, the message you'd like to spread among your readers.
Well, the book's called Love and Work, and I wrote it as a like War and Peace, like love and work. We actually talk about there should be a balance between what you love and your work, your life and work. But actually, you look at really effective people. I don't know how effective you are at your job, but if you're really good at your job, you seem really good at your job. Then when you find people that are good at their job, there's love in what they do. They don't love all that they do. So if you ever hear somebody say, find what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life again, there's no data on that at all. People who are really good at what they do not love all that they do, but they do find the love in what they do. Housekeepers, nurses, teachers, salespeople. When you study excellence in anything, you find love in it. Loveless excellence is an oxymoron. Loveless creativity is an oxymoron. So I wrote this book with Harvard Business Review as my publisher because I wanted people to take love seriously. And unfortunately, we often have loveless classrooms. We have loveless government. We have sometimes loveless relationships. And certainly at work, we have loveless work. We have some companies designing work that's deliberately without any sort of love in it at all. And work shouldn't necessarily be a place that's all happiness and joy and light and love in all senses. But there's got to be love in what we do, otherwise there'll be no innovation, there'll be no collaboration, there'll be no real excellence. So my hope today is to rehabilitate the word love. When you were born, the first thing you started searching for wasn't food, it was love. That's it's the only kind of global human language. And yet at work, we've tried to find a synonym for it, like passion or joy or enjoy. But really what we should be doing is saying, how can we build work where we are taking each person's loves seriously? Not to make you happy, Alice, but so you can contribute it. Love is a precursor to contribution. You learn more. Your brain on love is more creative, more innovative, more collaborative. We know that. So that's my hope today. I don't know if I'm going to succeed. My hope today is to go take love seriously.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much, Marcus Buckingham, everybody.
Thank you.